My sort of plan was to be full-time carer until my youngest went to school, and then I would go to work. And I imagined myself at this age now as being an empty nester. And I was really looking forward to that. And that hasn't happened.
This is Susan Peters. She and her husband run a family mental health business in the Granite Belt, where they live. She's a mother and carer for her two daughters. She's been doing that full time since they were babies, although it's only in recent years that she's realised that she actually is a carer.
I would say so. Technically, I recognised myself as a carer about 3 or 4 years ago. I had been looking after both my children, who are adults, young adults, and been struggling and doing all the mum stuff and thinking, this is really, really hard, and it seems to be getting harder. And a friend said to me, oh, you should get in touch with, one of the carers organisations. And I was like, I'm not a carer, I'm just a mum. Anyway, I went along and I sort of recognised everything that they were saying, and I thought, oh, maybe I am a carer. And once I sort of got that in my head, it actually became easier to see it as a vocation and just a calling on my life to be the best carer I can for my kids.
What did you think a carer was?
Care of someone with a severe physical disability or elderly people. I never thought about caring for people with psychosocial disability as being a carer. And you know what? I can be honest here and say there was a period of grief when I recognised that that wasn't going to happen and that these young people could not cope in a world on their own yet. Maybe they will one day, but now that's not possible. And there was a time where I had to let go of some of my expectations of what their lives would be like. I thought they would finish grade 12, they would go to university, they would have careers, they would meet partners, they would have children, and they would do all of that out of my house. And they would be independent financially. They would be independent in every way other than having me as, a bit of a listening ear on the other end of the phone. But that's just not what happened. And there was a grieving time where I had to let that go.
Susan's oldest daughter, Amy, was diagnosed with autism when she was 19. But the diagnosis finally came after many years of social problems caused by her trying to mask the condition, which often happens with girls on the spectrum. But she also has Tourette's syndrome. Because
that's a very socially inappropriate condition. Yeah. And I think people in Stanthorpe are now getting used to us. But sometimes she licks people. Usually it's me. So we have this thing where we're always in Aldi when it happens. And I say, if you lick me, I'm licking you back. So we make a lot of fun of her Tourette's and she loves it.
Does that work? Does that put her off?
It totally works, yeah. Yeah, it's lovely. And for a long time she kept saying, breakfast. And so we're going through Aldi. It's always Aldi. Breakfast. And these old ladies are just like, what on earth? Probably what's harder is with my other daughter. So she has the psychosocial disorder. She has bipolar, OCD, binge eating disorder, panic disorder, generalised anxiety. You want it, she's got it. Life is hard for her right now, and that's probably the hardest one. Amy's stuff is funny. Leah's stuff is hard at the moment. This is the stage we're in right now, so it's really intense. So she needs really acute care, and she's quite frequently in hospital. And she's trying so hard, but it's really hard work. Yeah. Every day, constantly trying to be the voice of reason, the voice of encouragement, trying to get her out of bed, trying to get her to brush her teeth. And people don't tell you about those sides of psychosocial disorders, is the constancy of it. I have to wake her up every morning, and I wake her up and I just think, I hold my breath. What have I got today? What's going to happen today? Will I have to change my plans at the last minute today? Can we actually go into town today? Or can I go to work, because we have our own business and sometimes I try to go to work. So can I go to work? Can I leave her today? Most days I can't. We're in a very intense time right now. It's really just been recently that I've sort of really felt the full impact of that, and probably is part of that going, okay, accept this as your vocation, become, you know, the best carer that you possibly can. So that's sort of how I've taken it. I love her too much to ever abandon her, but I really need a break. I really need a break. And I do get that because she goes to hospital every 3 months for maintenance treatment, and I get 10 days.
What do you do with those 10 days?
This last 10 days, I worked. I just worked in the business to try and catch everything up. The previous 10 days, my husband and I went away for 4 days on our own. And that was the first time we've ever done that. And we had nothing to say to each other the whole time.
Was that surprising and was that bad, or was that just part of the relaxation?
Well, it took a while. I'm like, don't we have anything to talk about? He's like, well, I thought we weren't talking about the kids. I'm like, I know, but there must be something. So, yeah, but eventually we sort of got into the groove and we figured out how to be married again. And we need to do that. We've got to prioritise our marriage. But every now I do get these little windows of opportunity every now and again. So like Wednesday, Leah's support worker came and took her out for 2 hours. And she's Kelly, amazing woman from Wellways. And I actually had 2 hours on my own at home and I did not know what to do. And so I walked around the garden with my plant identifier app and I identified all my plants. I don't know why. I should have gone and had a nap. Sometimes even just driving in the car on my own is really nice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so, and I'm just, you know, I'm chief organiser for the whole family, so I'm constantly following up on appointments and doing research, and like I'll never let I don't want the kids to miss any opportunity. So I'm always, you know, can they get NDIS? Can they do this? What can we do with their NDIS funding? You know, how can we get the maximum out of this to help support them so that they can have these amazing lives? So, yeah, that's why I'm tired.
But the advent of the National Disability Insurance Scheme, or NDIS, has made the world of difference to both of Susan's daughters and Susan's own life as well.
As far as the NDIS plan has gone for Amy, it's been amazing. So we engaged the services of a 70-year-old lady from town. Her name's Jane, and she is Amy's support worker. So for the first couple of years, Amy did not leave the house unless she was with the whole family, unless she absolutely had to. And leaving the house was really, really hard for her. So Jane got her to come out and they would go to the local antique shop. So Amy loves history, so Jane took her to the local antique shop and they would talk about all the different antiques, and sometimes they would buy things, and they would go to the bakery and buy, you know, a sandwich, and they'd go and eat it in the park. And so Amy had to use money. She had to talk to someone at the bakery. She had to make an order, and then she had to have conversation with Jane, you know, the whole time. And Amy got better and better and better at this ability to go out, so much so she was then able to go out on her own. Yeah. So she sees now Jane, she sees her once a week now for 2 hours. Jane also supports a number of people in the community. So, and Jane's 73 now, and just think, oh, you know, if it was me at 73, I'm hoping just to lie down. But she's an incredible woman. So she supports the whole family as well. So,
when you are a carer, how important is the support of other carers?
It's incredibly important. I read a statistic that 1 in 11 Australians identify as a carer. There's a lot of us out there, you know, there's heaps of us. We can share and we can help each other and we can, you know, offer guidance in that way. We have an actual Carers Queensland group that meets every fortnight. We just have a cup of tea and we talk about stuff. We're only a very, very young group, but we are learning to get to know each other, and everyone's in different situations. It's elderly parents, it's looking after, you know, 40-year-old twins who with schizophrenia. It's, you know, all kinds of spectrum. And we all know how to find access to different things in the system to help each other. And so we're always sort of recommending, you know, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And that's one of the best information sharing. Yeah. You know, things will always change. You never know what's going to be happening from here to 5 years' time. And in knowing that, I still have hope for the future as well. So I can't help but be that person that is always wanting more. I always want more for our kids, and I want more for my husband and I want more for our lives, and I won't ever give up because that's my job. I'm a kids advocate. I am their biggest cheerleader. I won't let them fall in holes. I won't let them do that. I will keep fighting and I will keep encouraging them and I will brush their teeth for them if I have to. I won't let them go. And that's where our future is. It's continuing to hope and want better for them so that they can achieve amazing things on their own and have a great sense of value and hope in that. So, yeah.